The opinions expressed on the following audio program are solely those of the host and the guests. Burner Podcast is an independently produced, not-for-profit show and is not associated with the Burning Man organization or its subsidiaries. The views expressed are not representative of the entire Burning Man community and are presented here for entertainment purposes only. In short, calm the fuck down. It's just a podcast.
Hey, it's episode number 52, and it is 207 days till the man burns as of this recording. Wow, somebody was just asking me if I'm going to go to the burn again this year, and, you know, the answer was like an unapologetic yes. I do wonder how long that's going to go. I mean, I host burner podcasts, so I wonder if it's like kind of a... I don't know, prerequisite that I'm at the burn every year. You know, we'll see what happens. But I know this year a lot of people I know are making the choice to go to that Oregon Eclipse event instead. If you don't live in sort of like the Southern California, Oregon area, if you don't know about this event, it's supposed to be this epic, amazing event that is being orchestrated by 10 major teams, organizations, event production companies, whatever you want to call them. Like the guys that are responsible for Lightning in a Bottle are among them, is from what I understand. And the Oregon Eclipse is timed so that it's a week-long festival, not unlike Burning Man, that would be happening at the same time that the solar eclipse is happening. So it's in the path of the solar eclipse that's going through... you know, you can look up this map, by the way. Like, I guess you can't see it completely from everywhere you are, but if you're on this pathway, I'm told that, like, hotel rooms all around the country, if not the world, are sold out that are on the path of the solar eclipse. So it's a pretty big deal. I think, like, the next one is not going to be till, like, the year 2020 something. I don't know. Either way, a lot of people are going to that event, and there's some... whispers among the community that the massive flood of people going to the Oregon Eclipse event could potentially affect the demographics of Black Rock City in 2017. The Oregon Eclipse event is supposed to be like 10,000 people. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if 10,000 is even a drop in the bucket, because we think everybody knows about this event because this is in our social circles and everything. But in reality, when you look at the amount of people from around the world that are trying to get to Burning Man, I'm sure 10,000 is just like nothing. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll be at the burn. I don't know yet which camp I'll be with. Maybe finally I'll get to do the thing that I've always wanted to do, which is camp with like a camp of complete strangers and get that experience. I don't know. We'll see. But there are a couple of San Diego projects. There's the Journey, which looks absolutely magnificent. And there's the Effect, which our chief playa scientist, the Burner Podcast chief playa scientist, Romero, is involved with, as well as executive producer Meg and a previous guest of the show, Kurt Benedetto. So yeah, there's a lot happening. I'm sure I'll be doing some physical labor for the San Diego project. So we'll see. We'll see what happens at the burn this year. And speaking of the burn this year, today's show really is kind of a thing that I need to do in order to prepare for Burning Man 2017. The way that today's subject came about is that over the past 3 or 4 years, I've had like multiple people ask me how they should prepare for Burning Man. And often the request comes like, hey, I really want to go to Burning Man. And then there's this silence, like they want me to start telling them what to do and take over and like, all right, cool, I'll take care of it for you. No, you know, radical self-reliance is a thing. You have to kind of show me that you really want to go. I know it's not just me, of course. Any of you listeners who have been to Burning Man, you know how important it is for any virgins that go with you to Black Rock City, do their own preparation. And so this year, finally, I felt like I have a couple of virgins who are absolutely very, very serious about going. They are serious enough that when I told them that there's no guarantee that I could get them a ticket yet, I mean, like not Not when open sales come out. There's no guarantee that you can get a ticket because those, sell out in like 5 fucking minutes or something. But, at this point, plugged into the community deep and well and hard enough. So deep, so hard. So deeply plugged into the community that I'm like 98% certain that as long as we do all the preparation work and get all of your things ready and all your stuff packed, that a ticket will probably pop up within the week before Burning Man, and we'll be able to get you that ticket. So I have a couple of virgins who I'm 98% sure are actually going to follow through, as opposed to all the ones that say, I want to go with you next year. And then I'm like, all right, tickets go on sale on so-and-so day. They're like, man, maybe next year. This year I got a thing with people and stuff. Anyway, so I thought to myself, like, all right, well, as we often do on the show, we'd like to be educational. As Old Dirty Bastard would say, we do it for the children. Wu-Tang is for the children. So I decided to call in some veteran burners who have had some experience shepherding virgins to BRC and to pick their brains about, that sounded a little zombie disgusting, to pick their brains a little bit about what sorts of things you, me, anybody should keep in mind if we are shepherding virgins to Black Rock City. So today's voices, the ones that you're going to hear, are going to be one returning guest and 2 new voices. The returning guest, of course, is Alexandra, who is with Triptych. You have heard her voice on a previous episode of this show. It was number 33, where we did a camp profile of Triptych. And we did get actually some of the backstory that we're going to get into today, where she was sort of like one of the earlier people in her team that went out there. So we did get to touch on some of that subject. We did tell some of that story on a previous show, but this one is going to be a roundtable, and you're going to have her bounce off some ideas with 2 other veteran burners. We also have Keinen in the house, who has historically camped with Don't Panic, and they do a lot of fire spinning. And I know for a fact the past couple of years that I've swung by their camp, there's been good virgin shepherding happening at Keinen's camp. And also, there's going to be Peter Ryan, who's going to be the 3rd voice that you're going to hear. Peter is usually camping with the Miscreants, who have had representation on this show multiple times. If you're a regular listener of the show, if you're in San Diego, you already know them. If you're not, then you've probably heard of them through this show. So those are the 3 voices that you're going to hear. So we're going to chat a little bit about all the stuff that it takes, things to keep in mind, lessons learned, all the stuff that we have to think about if we are taking virgins to Black Rock City. I was going to say for the first time, but then that would be redundant. Today's show, we did something very, very different. I did something very, very different. I've never done this before. It's episode number 52, and I've never recorded the opening before we actually do the interview. Because today's show is, originally we were going to have a show about theta, but then like the guest canceled last minute. So we're going to go ahead and get that guest back in the future. So that was going to be like a woo-woo hippie episode, theta healing. But instead we got into taking virgins, which is a thing that this show honestly is mostly questions that I personally have for people, and I just want to turn on the mic. That's how professionally produced we are. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Today's episode is entitled Shepherding Virgins. Wow, that's an amazing name. I go by Mr. Arash, even though nobody calls me Mr. Welcome to Burner Podcast.
On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was the fly with the balls and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause
Peter is a sound professional. I can barely get my phone to work. So, I mean, so a lot of times it's funny, like, people ask, it's a very common question, people ask, like, how do I get a podcast started? I'm like, well, I don't know, start recording shit and putting it online. And so I've been, sorry.
No worries.
I've been co-hosting another show for, like, coming up on 6 years called Crappy Awesome. That one is, like, more professionally set up because my creative partner is a producer, so he's got, like, mixer and mic and everything. On this one, we just kind of started recording.
I know mad recording artists and producers, like, locally. So, like, Beehive, the guy who's, like...
Oh, Beehive's the shit.
Yeah, like,
Beehive's
I gave
amazing.
him Cloud's old mixing board that he gave me when he moved out of his old place.
Yeah.
So, like, he's got this huge multi-track one that, like, we totally have at our disposal if we ever want to go use it.
Beehive is amazing.
Yeah, he's the hell, dude.
We
Is chill as fuck.
Oh, he's amazing. I was actually was saying to him, he's somebody that I wish I could hang out with more. I would like to see
You want to
more
call
often. He I'll never forget this. We were in LA for this festival. Cypher Effect is a brand that's, like, gotten pretty big up there, and we took some San Diego artists up there, and Brent was one of them, and it was really amazing to watch, like, the audience explode when he was up there.
Cypher Optics is another local guy who would probably be really good for your Cypher event up there.
Yeah.
So you could have, like, double Cyphers, like
Yeah.
assassins, Silver Star assassons.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, we have been recording, so welcome to the show. So I was saying in the intro that this episode came about because this is going to be the first year that I'm, like, 98% confident that the people that are saying, "Hey, Arash, I really want to go to Burning Man, can you help me?" Like, and they're actually going to go.
Right, because I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I just got fired from my job, so...
No shit.
Yeah.
That's right. I saw you post about that.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed. I just had it up for a hot second, and I was like, a bunch of people were like, you should take that down, and I was like, okay,
You understand you're broadcasting it right now.
Yeah, I totally got
Okay.
that. You can't see it anymore. It's only viewable to me.
Yeah.
So, and like, unless you had, like, a time machine.
Yeah. No, I know, but you're saying you're okay with saying that on the show?
It's fine.
Okay.
I have nothing
But
to
not
hide.
on Facebook.
Right. I have nothing to hide. Like, I know exactly what my offer was and what he did and, like, how he messed up. So now I'm filing it with the labor board, and they're going to help me deal with it.
Why did you have to take it down off Facebook, though?
Oh, just because other people that I trust gave me advice too.
Maybe
Okay.
too many details more than he's revealing.
So we can know that you got fired, but not, like,
The why.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad that, in the depths of your depression, you're here at least doing a podcast with us.
I'm not depressed. I've been having a ball. It's just like...
Cheers.
Yeah.
Call it fun employee.
Thanks for bringing the beers.
Right.
Alexander.
You take the J out of... take the J out of job, what do you get? Ocean Beach, man.
The problem with OB is that people who move there, I never see them again.
Yeah, it's like a
Right.
vortex, dude. Like, it just sucks you in, and you're just like, what happened?
Everything he needs there's, like, one road in and out of OB. Yeah, whatever.
No, there's multiple. You just have to know the back roads. I grew up there, so it's a little different for me.
Good times. I thought you were living further in...
Well, I live in City Heights now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live, like, right in the middle of just, like, some really weird, awesome stuff. And it's, like, it's all familiar. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's just, like, you gotta know the right people and, like, not mess up.
Yeah.
Because, like, they will...
Are we talking about OB or City Heights right now?
City Heights.
Okay.
Both places, actually.
All right.
Like, it's called the war zone,
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like, I feel like City Heights is a different war zone, but it's a lot more hectic in OB than it is in City Heights because, like, everybody has their, like, crew on lock and nobody messes with anybody without, like, permission, It's pretty crazy.
Gotta ask the dreadlock guy doing yoga.
Exactly.
That's the kind of thing that you don't know as a transplant. I was like, wait, the people call OB the war zone?
Yeah.
Seems really nice.
Yeah, well, there's a specific segment I feel like people call it, like, right there in the beach, like on, I don't remember.
It's
the name of the
basically like
streets.
Newport
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, north. North
Right,
of Newport
right.
is, like, pretty much the war zone. Everything, like, south of Newport is pretty fucking chill and relaxed, but, like, Newport North all the way to like the 8 is just like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, the Sunset Cliffs area. It's
Sunset Cliffs is bomb.
Yeah,
dude.
it's pretty chill.
This is awesome.
But yeah, let me have you guys do this. I'm going to start from this side of the room, and I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and let's do this. Introduce yourself. How many years you've been to the burn, and I don't know, something funny, just so that they can associate a name with the voice.
Hey, so my name's Keinen. I've been to the burn 4 times, and responsible. I've brought a lot of new people to here and there. And last year, I kind of spent the whole burn showering naked people.
Nice.
Oh.
Dr. Brown.
Carcass wash? Dr. Bonners. Okay.
Dr. Bonners.
Okay.
I was a foamy homie.
So you did Terry and Derek and all those
they're
cool
awesome.
cats, Danksa, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Dr. Bronner's, yeah. So what was it called this year?
Reformation?
Yeah, reformation. Yeah.
So is it quick sidebar? So is it true that it's like legally in the state of Nevada, it's got to be some sort of a performance art piece?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Dr. Bronner's does not take showers to the burn.
It is not a shower.
It's not a shower.
It is a foam experience.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And you're part of the camp when you do it. You have to go through
Right.
like the hazing ritual, if you will. And
Right.
Then, like,
Yeah, I
once
remember,
you're
like,
done, you're
there-
part of the camp.
like
and then
interacting
camps to
with-
shower.
I was interacting with like upset people that were like, I gotta jump through all these fucking hoops. I'm like, you're
To
like,
get a
you're
shower
like
in the desert?
yeah. You're like in the wrong event, I feel like. But yeah, so explain real quick what it is. Like, so in order to take advantage of the foam experience,
Then you have to be part of the camp.
right.
And so the camp, to become part of the camp, then there's different experiences that you go through. And so this year, we kind of took the opportunity to kind of talk about veganism and about what our food goes through between animals and the plate.
Right.
And so the goal is to use the time waiting, because so we can foam maybe 50 people at a time, and there's always a lot of people who want to come.
Right.
And so the idea is, okay, you're not just kind of standing on a line, you are learning, you are participating, you are growing in that time that you're spending.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
Yeah, and so it's a great way to kind of and so in that whole initiation, you become part of the camp.
Right. So would you technically be the biggest camp on Playa?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Because if you have to be you have to be part of the camp.
That's a good
order
one.
to-
Yes.
to not shower.
I would say yes.
okay. Point taken.
Yeah. Half of Burning Man is your camp. Okay.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the only female voice on this podcast tonight. I've never actually had a foam experience at Dr. Bronner's yet. In my 4 years on the playa, I tried. I biked across in a whiteout last year, and it was closed by the time I got there. So,
What an excellent way to introduce the information. I have not been in the 4 years that I've been. It's funny, by the way. Every year I've been to Playa, I did not realize how close I was to murdering everyone around me until I took that not shower halfway through the week. Like, I thought I was fine, everything's okay, and then but as soon as I did, I'm like, oh wow, I was ready to kill everyone.
but that's your normal state on playa. So
Right.
it's natural.
That's why weapons are not allowed.
Although people still bring them. Like,
Yes.
I was doing the stencil station in 2015, and I had one of the law enforcement officers with the dogs come up, and I was like, "Hey, can I pet your dog?" And he's like, "No, he got kicked in the face yesterday. We pulled, he just started listing all these guns that they found on people. He's like, we found sniper rifles, pistols, handguns, all this stuff.
What the fuck do you need a sniper rifle for?
Fuck if I know, dude. People are insane.
If you're driving cross country, when you need a sniper rifle after the burn,
Ah.
then you might as well you can't go home
Just
back.
bury it in
Yeah.
the desert before you get there. Make a map and then go back to it.
Good Lord.
But so he decided to take one of the stencils that we did with the laser cut stencils that Kyle Clark helps with over at Laser Brain or Flow Ninja. I forget what he's going by now. But the one that we used, we decorated this fucking Homeland Security's flak jacket with a freedom bomb. So it was just like this bomb that said freedom.
Nice.
Anyways, I'm Peter Ryan. I've been 4 years My first experience with Dr. Bronner's was my second or third year. I don't know. So here I went with Rachel. It was her first year that year. And we had decided that we were going to say yes to every single thing that anybody asked us that day. So as soon as we walk out and decide that we're going to do something, Honey Bear rolls up with the fire truck, and he's like, "You guys want to shower?"
Nice.
That went better than expected.
Yeah, so we like jump in, and then like we see all the people like waiting in line, and he's like, "No, screw those guys, come this way," and like just takes us all the way around the other way.
I gotta ask you about the say yes thing. So I've yet to do that.
Oh, it's awesome.
And mind you, well, I mean, I'm pretty much saying yes to everything anyway.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out like, how long am I saying yes to a thing for? Like, they say, I come in here for sausages, okay, and how long do I hang out there?
How long does it take you to eat a sausage?
It depends. They just keep giving you sausages, though. They don't just give you one sausage and tell you to fuck off. You're just like, here's more sausages.
I don't know. So I can definitely be ADD, and the burn is the place to be ADD.
Oh, totally.
And so I'm going to go, have a sausage, hang out, meet everybody in the camp, talk as much as you can, and then as soon as you see something shiny, head for that.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not saying this is the correct way to do it, but the big lesson that I got out of my burns that I took into default world was that the distractions never end. So I'm actually like big into that. Like if it's in my calendar, I'm going to be somewhere at 8 p.m. on Thursday. Like that plan is not getting canceled.
Yeah.
Like no matter what shiny thing gets thrown at me. And like that for me was an interesting lesson that I got from Playa, because I'm like, I'm never going to make it to my fucking destination if I keep looking at like different shiny objects.
I think that's the great thing about the burn, and that's kind of what I would tell, what I do tell newbies is, okay, so there's this thing happening at point A at 8 p.m. Okay, well, then you want to start heading towards that thing. If you see something awesome over there, well, okay, you know what? As you set out, realize you may or may not get to your destination. The place that you do get to will be freaking awesome. Can we curse? I forget.
Yeah, you can say whatever.
Okay, great.
That's Burning Man. Freedom of speech. Well, that's first right on the
There's cursing in the warning that before the show starts. Yeah.
Some of the best advice I got as a virgin and have given to virgins was make a plan for every day, and if you make it, great, and if you don't, better.
Yeah.
Means you found something more exciting to do.
Yeah.
So keep that one.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny when people are like analyzing the book and they're like highlighting things. They're like, "Oh, do this and this and this." And I'm just like, I learned that like the first day because I went with a bunch of vets, like the miscreants, you know, and like I was like, "All right, this is how I do it." And I showed up my first year, no shade, like water bag, big water, like Swiss water bladders, and like MREs, and then like a camp meal plan that I was on, and I was like, "All right, this is what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And it was brutal, but it was amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And the next year, I got better, and the next year, better, and like, you know, this year.
My first year, my partner had gone through and like the Time to Burn app, and it set out all the things he wanted to do. And like 2 days before we left, he lost his phone and just didn't have the schedule or anything. And we get back from the burn, and it's under a pile of papers on his desk. It was like the universe was trying to say, "Don't plan your burn. Let it go."
You know, one thing about sitting in line that I thought was really cool in like the Time to Burn app was like figuring out how to set up a Bluetooth mesh network, like just in case like wireless infrastructure goes down, and how you can still communicate with your devices even though there's no cell or satellite or any of it, just with local networks.
Yeah.
And that stuff is just like survival things that you'll have to know in case there's a tsunami or, you know,
Tsunami on
some
Playa.
sort of terrorist attack, you know, like it's one of those really good bits of information that you don't learn anywhere else, you know, unless you're like studying up on it, you know.
Yeah. God, you know, when you say that's the thought that I've had a lot is like, are we inadvertently, secretly training for the apocalypse? Like I kind of feel that way, right? Like we just happen to have a lot of friends that live out in the middle of nowhere. Most of us happen to be really good at surviving bullshit.
If you've been to the burn, then at least you have the first idea of what to do. Like if you're out in the middle of nowhere without any of the creature comforts at home.
Yeah.
Well, and isn't there always that, like, wonder when you're leaving, when you haven't had radio contact for like 7 days or 2 weeks, like, did the world fall apart while we were here? Is it still...
Well, I heard
as it
stories
was?
of people being able to, like, take pictures in real time on the playa last year, like, and, like, upload from the burn, and I was just like, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
Look
there's
at
more.
Facebook, like, fuck
I know.
this.
There's
I
more
want it.
service. I saw more and more people on
Yeah.
their cell phones this year than before.
So lame.
One, it was like a bar that was really funny though. Like you walk up and they actually had like somebody else was describing it to me. Like they had Wi-Fi set up, but it was just like the Wi-Fi, but it wasn't actually connected to actual internet. So they would have people come and sit down at the bar, like trying to connect their phones. Like, hey, is your Wi-Fi going to connect here? He's like, yeah, they're working on it. But it never actually connected.
I saw one place that had Wi-Fi, but it would redirect from whatever page you wanted to go to pictures of kittens.
Oh, can I do that in real life?
That sounds like much better plan than actual the
That's
internet.
so great. Can you? So here's a question. So this is the main question, I guess. Like this is what we were starting out discussing. Is that I'm sure you guys get it constantly. Like your friends that have not been, they're like, dude, next year, I really want to go.
I'm like, buy the ticket, take the fucking ride, just do it.
Yeah. Do you already have like that thing in your head where you can figure out sort of who is going to go and who's not? Like who's full of
for
shit?
sure.
Yeah. Well, I've had a friend like Jeff Bailey, and him and Mark, his mom, Mark, who used to be Kelly Bell.
Wait, his mom is Mark?
No, his mom's husband is Mark Quint,
Right.
who has the Quint Gallery up here in La Jolla.
Cool.
And then his mother's name is Kelly Balistreri, or her maiden name was, and now she's Kelly Quint. And they all took a big, gnarly, awesome RV out, and I'm just like loaded to the gills in like Rachel's dad's, Mike's, Ben Brooks' big ass Ford, like F-250 7-deuce diesel with like an open trailer. So we're just like packed to the gills, you know. And it was like, we're gonna live in our little canvas tent with air conditioning, and you guys have your Winnebago. Yeah. We have this huge stage structure that we
They
built.
actually did go.
Oh yeah, they totally went. It was awesome. But like for years, Jeff was like, I'm gonna go. But he works for like Cisco or Fusion Storm. And they set up the wireless infrastructure for Apple like worldwide.
Yeah.
So, you know, stuff would always come up. So finally he just was like, all right, I'm doing it. This is the year. And then like his mom and stepdad were on board, and it was just like amazing to watch him. And it was really cool to see like the growth of their relationship between like stepfather and stepson, because they got all heated at each other trying to pack and figure it all out. And then they went and they were just like, oh my God, what do we do? And then they came back and just like, we're just like, oh, you know, and then like,
you actually got that reference point of watching somebody say over and over they're going to go and then finally go. I have yet to actually see that happen.
I think that's the thing. It's like, so like back in 2008, like, or back before tickets sold out, then you could be like, okay, I kind of want to go, and you kind of wishy-washy, and then like get your ticket just before it happens, and go ahead and go. At this point, though, you have to be planning to go in March? Yeah, like right now. Like if you're not planning to go right now, you're not going to go.
Well, I've had friends that like wait till the week before and then get a last minute ticket, and they're just like,
possible. But if you're not prepared to take the time off of work, or you don't have the money saved up to accommodate it, like this is what you need to be thinking about at this point.
Right. No, because that's the thing. It's like at this point, the likelihood of you, not like people here, but like you random people trying to get a ticket to the burn like through open sales is like so slim. It feels like they just like disappear so quickly. You know, there's. I
think I'm eligible for low income again since I got fired though.
Well, that's true. That's true. Okay, thanks.
But, so I've always heard if you want to go, like plan to go, and it will happen. Like I've known friends who got tickets in the OMG sale, and like if you are really serious about it, take the time off of work, save up the $1,000 approximately that you'll need to make it feasible.
Yeah,
I've never spent less than $1,200 personally.
It'll get figured out. I had a friend last year who got a ticket like 4 days before and took time off work and was able to go. So like, plan for it if you're really serious.
Yeah,
and there's always people that are selling. But and at the end, if you haven't been planning for it, then you won't have the time off work, you won't have the money saved up, you won't have the accommodations. Like
See, every time I've had a ticket, it's been because I've been connected with projects and things. So like it's been kind of already set up ahead of time for me. But when I've interacted with like this past year, for example, I mean, at this point, every year you're around the community, you get deeper in, right?
It's insidious like that.
Yeah.
It's like the mafia.
You can't leave.
They pull me back in.
So it's like, even like this year, the week before we left for the playa, like there was multiple status updates from different people. They're like, "Yep, I got 7 tickets available." like a ridiculous number all of a sudden popped up. So the advice that I've been giving people is like, yeah, same thing. If you're ready, start packing for it. We'll find it for you.
Yeah, the playa provides tickets.
Well, I've heard
before you arrive on playa, the playa will provide tickets to get onto the playa.
And not to plug or anything, but if somebody really wants to go to Burning Man, try to get a ticket. If you don't get a ticket to Burning Man, go to Utopia. Like we're so blessed, whatever regional is close to you.
Yeah, because this is a worldwide podcast, right? So it's like there's the Africa Burn. There's so many different Burning Man events. There's Frost Burn. There's Element 11.
Yeah. And if you've never gone to the Burn before, it might be a good idea to start out at a regional because it's not as scary or intense. You can leave to go to the store.
Now, B-Morg is trying to promote the regionals because there's just so many people who want to go to the Burn. Then there's a certain limit that they have, and so but the regionals, and like you mentioned, the way that you get a ticket, you can be lucky and get a ticket through the sale, but the best way to get a ticket though is through your friends, and the way to get burner friends is to be involved in the burner community all throughout the year. I know several people who don't want to or can't go to the burn, but they're burners because they're burning wherever they are.
Absolutely. Now that question of whether or not you can be considered a burner, if you've been to the burner or not, that was kind of what this show started as to begin with. That was the question we were asking, and then that's when it got into all the other topics. And there's a lot of people around the world who just simply the means don't exist. Like the amount of money that you'd have to throw to be able to get from wherever you are to Nevada, and it seems pretty asinine to say that you don't get to take advantage of the culture or be a part of the community if you can't go to this one specific location.
It doesn't seem radically inclusive.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I feel like it almost should be like a vetting process where in order to get a ticket to the big show, you should have to
go to regionals.
So many regionals before. And then that gets rid of the plug and play aspect, the rich assholes. They're like, I have money, fucking here I go.
And you bring your passport of stamped regionals.
Exactly, yeah. And then you get closer and closer to the middle of the man burn. So the more regionals you have, the closer you get to actually seeing the man. Really
Radical cool. VIP section. Yeah, for sure.
You do a cannonball rally and race around to each one and have teams, and see who does it the fastest, like the rental car rally. Yeah. That would be really fun.
I wonder if that's something that is exclusive to what we experience here, because we live in Southern California, obviously. And American culture is all about, we don't like the guy that is the MVP in the game because they threw all the best passes. We like the guy that gets the fucking slam dunk every time. So it's I gotta go to Burning Man. I don't care about local fucking regional that's only 3,000 people. And that's always been the biggest conversation I've had with people is dude, you want to experience the community? Go to your regional. Try that first.
I mean, and you get to see more of it. So if you were to go to Utopia, you get to actually maybe hit everything camp, which you could never do at Burning Man.
Right. Yeah.
In a week. You just didn't. So.
Even with a golf cart, the only way you could do it is to fly above it. And you're like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll check that out later,
Yeah, so that was, I fully agree, the advice that was said, first, get involved with your community. There's local meet and greets. Assuming you are in a town that has some sort of a burner base.
You can always start one.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And I've actually looked for people. I had a friend from Germany who was messaging me asking, what I could do to help her. I'm like, well, look here. It looks like you guys have a meet and greet in this town, which is, I think it was Frankfurt was a close town. It was 45 minutes away from her town. So I'm like, yeah, start hanging out over there, meet people there, get involved with the project. That's how I inadvertently came in.
Right.
So,
and if you are located outside of Southern California, go to burningman.org/regionals and put in where you are, and you'll get in touch with your regional contact, who will tell you where all the cool shit is.
Right. And step 1, too, sign up for that newsletter. Jackrabbit Speaks.
Yeah.
That's usually a nice step 1. Okay.
Wait, what was it again? I feel like we almost laughed over it.
The Jackrabbit Speaks?
The Jackrabbit Speaks.
We did.
You know, my name's Peter Rabbit.
Oh, I see that. I can dig it.
Can you dig it? We can dig it. Chef! Now that's our other project. You should look it up.
Chef Records. We'll do a future show on that one.
All right, sounds good.
So step 1. Find your regional network. Find your local meet and greet events. But let's say, all right, you have somebody who is saying like, all right, I am ready. I'm going to start packing my shit. What is the first piece of advice that you're going to give your friends? What is the first step you tell them to do? After they've signed up for the newsletter and they've looked at the regionals, but they're like, I'm going to fucking Burning Man.
Start researching packing lists.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a dozen packing lists on the internet. And so the first time I went, I actually went to the Burn not knowing anybody who had ever been to the Burn. And so I got packing lists on the internet, and I had so much stuff.
How did you discover it?
Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, there was a Malcolm in the Middle episode about the Burn, and I saw it, and it was absolutely crazy. So Malcolm and Reese, they're trying to sneak out and go to Burning Man. And so then the mother catches them and says, okay, we're going to do a family trip. And it goes, and my favorite part, so Hal is out, and he doesn't want to go to Burning Man. He wants to have a normal vacation. And so he goes out, he rolls AstroTurf out, he's grilling, and everybody thinks that he's doing a performance piece of being a suburban dad. And so they're all crowded around watching him and like clapping when he's like, get away, leave me alone. And he puts up a fist, and they're like, yeah, you're doing that so well. And so that got into my head. I'm like, wait, what? This doesn't make any sense to me. So I did some research online.
And you were a raver, right?
Yes, so I was a raver.
I always say you're a raver, yeah.
and online it didn't make any sense. But I went. I'm like, oh,
in case you have to cough again.
And yeah, I think it was an extension of the raver community. It was like ravers grown up. That's the way I felt, at least.
I agree.
It's like all the peace, love, unity, and respect that I got in the raver community. It expanded a bit, and now we have 10 principles in the burner community.
Wait, did you just reference Plur?
Plur, absolutely. Yeah. No, because there was a time where this is my observation. Plur was like legit, and then like now it's like Plur if you're like a super hot 19-year-old girl. But
Oh yeah,
Like, what's up with
maybe
plural?
19.
It's like it's all lies, woman.
Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to say to anybody who is thinking about the burn but hasn't been. The pictures that you get from the burn are the super hot, half-naked 20-year-old girls.
Oh, yeah.
But you realize photographers are guys, and so that's the pictures they take. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you get there, it doesn't matter who you are. I have friends who go who are 70. I have friends who go with their kids.
Yep.
And
Jigsville, right?
Exactly. And
The dust makes everything look the same.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
No, that is kind of an incredible thing I remember observing. I have a design background. I was looking at we were in this one camp that's almost like designed to look like it's Iceland or Christmas on the inside, but it's a bar. I know you guys must know what it is, but it's a really cool bar. But anyway,
So
but I
how
remember
much money did they throw at it? You
no,
know?
it was. But this is the thing though. It's all the knickknacks and decorations were all obviously crap that's been picked up from random,
awesome.
random like garage sales and shit, right? However, you give it a week and everything gets covered with this one layer of dust. And so with design, what you're looking for is variety and consistency. That's what makes beautiful, attractive design. And that's what is an interesting on Playa. You give it a couple of days and everything has that consistency of that dust look to it. It's almost like you're taking photos of things and putting the same filter on everything.
right.
The Playa
it's
filter.
really, yeah.
Have you ever walked on Playa stilts?
No, what's that?
So that's when it gets really wet and muddy, and you try to walk around.
Oh, yeah,
and you just like get these huge
Oh,
cakes of
Yeah.
playa,
And
on
it
your
glues
feet.
to you.
Yeah, so
Playa
it's-
platforms.
Yeah, playa platforms, playa stilts. You know,
Those are horrible.
I was stuck in line for 24 hours a few years ago when it rained, and there were plenty of playa platforms.
Yeah, that was awful.
Brutal.
My first year there was this girl, Abby, and I'll never forget her because our friend Keinen used to work for Lost Abbey Beer.
Yeah.
And he brought out all these like low fills for us. And this girl, Abby, wanders into camp, just her shoes are just caked in mud. And she's like, I lost my camp. I don't know where I live. And we're like, Jackie, my friend, is like, and Jason, her husband, are like, oh my God, honey, how can we help you?
Yeah.
She's like, well, we're in a black Suburban. And I was like, oh, do you want
Playa?
to climb? Yeah, like, do you want to climb on this white Suburban and see if you can spot another black Suburban? So she gets up on this, black or this. No, it was actually Dan's black Suburban, and she gets up on that, and she starts looking around. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so fucked." And Jackie's like, "No, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. Like, we're gonna get you cleaned up, and we're gonna send you on your way. And I guarantee you'll come back later this week, and you'll be like." Wow, it's not so bad. And that was just one of my favorite memories of like Jackie and like her seeing this person that's just so obviously just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I'm freaking out. And then she's just like, here, chill out. She's like, here's some new shoes, here's a beer. Like it even has your name on it. Yeah. Lost Abby. Like, come on.
And that's what you are right now.
And that was her playa name. We're like, we're calling you Lost Abby forever now. That is your playa name. And
did you know people your first year?
Yeah, I knew the miscreants.
Okay, that's right. So you had like some leadership there.
Oh, definitely.
And Ellie, like we got into some of the story of your first year as well on a previous episode of the show.
Yes. So Mark, my partner at the time, and I had gone with my yoga teacher, and that was the only person we knew. And she was camping with the sister camp of Dusty Boone Saloon. And we carpooled with someone we just met that day. So he had been before, but we hadn't. So just going for a 12 to 15 hour drive with a new person and not knowing what to expect. And
what was the biggest punch in your face when you got there?
they didn't let us ring the gong.
Oh,
to get greeted. What? They said they were doing express greeting, and we weren't allowed to do the gong, and I've never rung the gong, so if you're going for the first time, make sure you make them let you ring the gong.
I had to get spanked to a playa angel before I got to...
or a playa angel, anything.
Yeah.
Then I got motorboated. I got like a trifecta. I was like, yeah.
My first time, I think our greeter was just really exhausted. She's like, do you want the whole spiel? I'm like, okay. She's like, well, outside over there is the default world, and blah, blah, blah. Just did not give a fuck.
But every time since that I've gone with a virgin every time I've ridden to Burning Man, and every time I've made sure that the virgins had to get out and lie down on the playa, because that's the fun, right?
Yeah. You go make that fucking angel.
Do it for me. I'm living vicariously.
Don't miss what I mean.
No, I didn't do it my first year. I still don't really get the point. Not just, I don't know.
The gong or the angel?
No, the angel. Actually, yeah. I don't think I did the gong either.
It's benevolent hazing.
Right. Yeah.
I can tell you. Okay, I can tell you. I get the angel for sure, because like I feel like my observation has been that the majority of virgins, the thing that they are most, not even virgins, honestly, people that have been there multiple years, they're still really concerned about like keeping dust off of themselves. And I'm like, it's insane. Like, because I remember at one point, Navjeet, who's the producer of Alkaline on Burner Podcast here, we were sharing. Right? Yes, he's the
awesome.
we were sharing this Costco shade structure, right? And at one point he's like, so we come out and all of our shit is covered in dust. This was a super dusty year. And he's like, you think it would help if we like, zipped up this corner part of it? I'm like, nah, watch. And I grab my pillow from inside and I just smack it once. And the dust comes out of the pillow and evaporates into the air. I'm like, it is so fine. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
And the more you try to fight it, and I think like this is like a general rule of the psychedelic experience, if you try to argue with the mushroom, it's going to turn on you. If the mushroom says sit down, you're going to sit the fuck down. If you say, no, I'm going to stand, it's going to turn on you. And I feel like the dust is the same thing. Like, don't just accept that it's there. And I think that's where the angel comes from, is like, just accept it. There's no way to get away from it.
Those nice clean clothes you rode up in? No.
That was dumb.
Keep them in Ziploc bags, and then you'll be fresh and clean every day you go out. I've got a life pro tip for you, though. Bring a leaf blower. And if you want to, like, clean out the dust in your
tent. Oh, okay. Leaf blower. That's interesting. All right, I can dig that. I had we had some campmates this past year who, I swear to God, they spent, like, half of their day, almost every day, cleaning dust out of their tent area. And they, like, had all kinds of duct tape in places and trying to go. I'm like, God, there's no way that's, like, fun.
And then when you go to Utopia, you get to brush all the dust out, and it's like a reminiscent thing.
Exactly.
It's part of the experience.
So the last year that I went, I was doing the Krondor stencil station, and this, virgin burner comes up to me, and she gives me one of these, little, vials, that you're supposed to put playa in and remember it forever, and I was like, I know what I'm going to do with this. So I went over to the temple and started going up to people that were crying and trying to
collect their tears.
Oh, God.
I gave it to Owen.
Asshole.
I gave it to Owen when I got back because he said, "Steal me something from Burning Man."
That's pretty.
So he got angel tears.
That's pretty good. So, but when I asked what's the thing that punched you in the face, let's say beyond the gong, but what was an expectation that you had based on just, I don't know, whatever experiences you had that was a complete flip?
Alright, so I thought the temple was going to be powerful, but I'm not religious, and I walked inside, and even without reading most of the stuff that people had written, I was crying the whole time. And it was just really powerful, and you could feel how much energy and emotion was collected in that place.
Yeah.
So.
Is that something you talk to virgins about before they go?
We talk about the temple. I feel like everyone knows. And when you go, this past year was my first time actually seeing it burn. So I've been 3 years and I never saw it burn until my fourth one. And it's really important and it's really powerful. And go and have your own experience there. You don't have to go as a group if you want to go alone or if you want to go with your friends. Do it your way.
Right.
Even if you don't think you have anything to let go of. Because I thought I was going to let go of a particular thing. And every time I've gone to let go of that thing, it's been something else entirely when I got there.
Right.
It's kind of a cool experience.
That's kind of seems to be the way personal growth usually works, though. You
Right.
think the clog is in the garbage disposal, but it's way deeper down in the plumbing somewhere underground. You got to pour liquids down there and get that all out.
I remember I used to plan out what I was going to write on the temple wall, and when I got to the temple,
wow.
I'm like, that doesn't matter at all. Whatever. So.
So that's actually a good question because to me the next question that would pop into my mind when you describe that would be, how do you describe that to a virgin? But I wonder, how much do you describe to virgins are you basically waiting for people to come to you and say, help me figure this out? Or are we still in the mode of selling people on, dude, you need to go to Burning Man?
Well, before Triptych went, we definitely tried to upsell it to our friends because we went and we had such a blast and everyone should go. And then the second year, a few more of our close friends went. The third year, we actually went and did a big camp with 40 or 50 people. So it was definitely this thing is awesome and I want to share it with you guys. Back in the day.
You have to sell people sell some people on it earlier on, yeah.
And once they've gone now, if they want to come back, they come back. If they don't, if it wasn't their thing, fine. But I shared the experience and they got to come and I hope they had a good time.
Yeah. So let's get into some basic logistics, and this is going to be for everybody. Let's go back to where we start. So you sign up for the mailing list, go check out your regional. We did that. What next? Go packing list. That was the next one that you mentioned.
Yeah. So if
is there one you guys recommend?
Yes, but I can link it to you later.
Okay. You don't know which one it is?
It was one floating around on a Facebook group I got invited to.
Okay. We'll put it on the blog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and take whatever you can reasonably manage to take. You don't have to have a 20-foot trailer if it's just you and your wife. And so the packing lists are good. But really once you go for a little bit, my first year I met somebody and they told me that the longer you go, the less you bring.
Right.
And she had gone for 17 years, and she said that the only thing she brought out was her cup. And
I'm guessing that was a joke, though.
But I do know people who have gone. You can have a good minimalist burn, but especially your first time, overpacking is fine.
Bring what'll make you feel comfortable while you're away from your home for a week.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you elaborate on that? What is that you describe to a virgin?
If you feel like you're going to need 2 different outfits every day and you can fit it in your car, then bring 2 different outfits. You're probably going to wear 4 for the entire week, but, bring what you think you will need. When you were just talking about minimalist burns and stuff, don't underestimate baby wipes. Definitely bring them. They clean everything. I would recommend at least 3 of the giant, packs that you can get. Because that'll be your shower when you can't make it over to Bronner's. It'll clean out your playa cups. It'll wipe down your bed if it's covered in dust. Or if you have an
Also,
mattress or
water cut
something.
with vinegar because it cuts through the basic dust because it's very alkaline, and you want to have like a separate pH for it to cut through it because regular water will just smear it around. You need something that actually like neutralizes it and brings the pH back to around 7, so you can get rid of it all.
Do you meet with your virgins regularly?
Yes. Well, I don't talk to Rachel too much anymore. She kind of broke my heart.
Okay.
She's on the other side of the world right now.
Do you mean like virgins who are going for the first time?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Like if you have virgin members of your camp, then like having planning meetings is good because it kind of helps everybody get on the same page as far as what's going to be happening with your camp, and it's good kind of keep it in their mind, kind of get them excited, get them thinking about the burn.
Or even if it's not like something as organized as a camp, just making yourself available to answer questions when they have them, because it's big and there's a lot of anxiety associated with it. And you know, if they're freaking about like how much sunscreen should I bring or how much water do I really need, like you want to be able to answer those questions.
Yeah.
I think it's going to depend a lot on the virgin that you have. It's like some people will want to have their hand held every moment. Some people just set them off and let them go.
Yeah.
I think it's really important also to plan for every single type of weather because you had no idea what the playa is going to throw at you. Like, it gets so cold and so hot and it could rain, you know, it's just so random.
My first year, the big problem that I did not bring enough warm clothes. And you cannot stress enough how cold it gets at night.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely one of those 2 outfits every day people because you need to have one outfit for the daytime, then one outfit for nighttime. Like, don't think like it's not a matter of like, oh, I'll just put on a jacket. No, you need to.
So that's gotta be like the part that can get the most confusing because I stepping out.
Yeah, just for a second.
Okay. Yeah, that's the part that can get confusing is that like there's things that like I have needs on, and then I'm looking at like the person that I'm trying to give advice to, and they're very. I mean, because there's so much advice that I was given on my first year that were like stuff that had nothing to do with me. I'm like, oh yeah, man, this is totally not something that was useful to me at all.
For sure.
Like, do you? I'm trying to figure out sort of like what the thought process is on that. Like, are you basically just sharing a lot of the experiences that you've had and hope something resonates?
Well, there's things that I think are like absolutely essential, like headlamps. You should always have at least one, so you probably want to bring 2 in case you lose one, which you probably will. Bring enough batteries. Bring spare toilet paper because there's not always going to be toilet paper.
And everybody's burn is different. And so I feel like it's better to give too much advice than too little, usually.
Yeah.
And so that way, And as a virgin, you can go and you can say, okay, well, this applies to me. You can say this doesn't. Right. But if you never hear that, then, well, you missed out on that one that applies to you.
Yeah.
So things that I think are necessary from 4 years going, shade, definitely, because I didn't have it my first year, and you can't sleep past like 7 a.m. So if you have the means of bringing shade of any kind, or camping with someone who has it, do it. And also a bike, because playa's really big, and you're not going to want to walk back across it in the middle of the night after doing whatever. And like a bike makes it much more fun. And a bike lock, because mine did get stolen.
Yeah, are there people that come without bikes?
Yes. Yes. I don't know how.
I've done it. Well, I've done it because my bike broke.
Yeah.
Less fun. But then the thing is, though, if you're on it, it's a different experience. If you're on a bike, then you have that destination, and you bike to the destination, and you go and you have fun there. If you're walking, though, okay, yeah, you're planning, you're heading that way, but you see and interact, and there'll be a guy like, hey, we have grilled cheese over here, come on, and on a bike you just run right past them. If you're walking, you stop in and have a grilled cheese.
But if you take the bike, you have the option to not take it out with you.
Yes.
And you can walk around.
Totally.
Which I highly recommend as well,
totally.
and hop in an art car and see where it takes you and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, and realize, the art cars just change your world.
Yeah.
It's like, so you'll be somewhere. So my favorite experience of my first year, I went and I had an amazing time the whole night. Went out and then like the summer's coming up. I'm like, okay, let's head back to camp. And so I see an art car that's kind of heading that way. So I jump on the art car, and it immediately makes a U-turn and heads out to Deep Playa.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like, whatever you were doing before, the art car just kind of completely wipes it out and changes it to something else.
You're going where they're going now.
How do you ever get nervous that your virgins are like not taking the planning seriously enough? Because I immediately feel anxiety when people ask me for like help figuring. I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna have to project manage the shit out of them now. But I'm aware that that's probably my baggage.
I mean, I feel like when I've brought virgins, I've tried to help them out, but also made it clear that like there's only so much I can do on Playa, and I have my own things I'm doing, and I can't necessarily make sure that you're okay all the time. Yeah. So like you need to be able to be okay, or like know where to go to make sure that you're okay. So, like, if you have other friends there, if you know who to turn to, if you have anything going on, and, like, we're out on a playa adventure and you're not there. Mm-hmm. Like, there are tons of resources available. And just know, you gotta know yourself pretty well. And know if you can handle, especially if you're going alone and not with, like, a friend you're sharing a tent with or something. Like, make sure you can handle staying by yourself at night or tripping by yourself or whatever it's gonna be.
A good trick is status updates. And so if you're telling your virgins like, hey, yeah, so I just got my gas mask, or not gas mask, but dust mask. Whole different event. Or hey, I just got my tent. I'm done packing. Like and so how far along are you? And so you don't have to be writing them or project managing. But let them know, like, okay, well, it's we're leaving in an hour. You should be packed by now.
Yeah. Do you think if you're not, let's say you guys aren't, is it necessary to camp together?
Yes.
You think so? If you're sponsoring a virgin?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a separate camp, then I've had friends who were camped close by, but then that means that you have to leave camp, and leaving camp is a task. And so then you go to their camp, and then you have to wait for them to leave camp. Yeah. And that is annoying.
Yeah. Annoying is a nice understatement.
So I wouldn't say that you shouldn't go if you're not camping with someone you know or who's been there before, but like all of the virgins I've known have either been camping with me or camping with another group of people who I trust to like make sure they're taken care of, and they're not out in open camping by themselves at like 2:30 in G and we're over on the 10 o'clock side, you know. So I don't think it's essential, but it's probably beneficial if you know somebody where you're camping. Yeah,
because I wonder if this just seems to be like the people that are attracted to asking me for help. But I keep feeling like a lot of the people that are asking for advice on going are kind of like hoping that I'm going to take care of a lot of things for them. I wonder if that's just like my weird bias on it, or if that's something that's a common thing people experience.
You seem like a responsible adult here.
Yeah. Can you get me to Burning Man?
Rent a bus. Let's go.
Do you have any idea how hard it is for me to just take care of myself on a daily basis here in default world? Want me to take care of you?
I don't feel like you're necessarily signing up to do that, but it may go a lot better for everyone if you do. And especially those things that you can force multiply well. It's like, oh, okay, well, I have to go and buy a dust mask. I might as well buy 3 and then get you to Venmo me for yours.
Well, I think like what we were saying in the beginning, like if you are brand new and you don't know anyone in the community, or you know Arash in the community and that's it, get involved in your local community, because there's probably lots of camps who can definitely take you in and like have virgins come and camp with them. I know when I've been part of a camp, it was always like, we need a few more people. We booked a space for 50 and we have 25, so come camp with us. And even if you just know somebody and then they can say, hey, check out this cool spot that I went to, it gives you sort of a little bit of grounding when you're out there.
Yeah, and like I said, my first year I went and I didn't have that camp to support. But I'll say, the years that I went, that I had the camp, they made so many things so much more easy. Yeah. And if you're camping by yourself, it's really difficult to have electricity. Yeah. You might have if you're in a small camp, you might have a generator running certain times a day. But if you're in a lodge camp, okay, yeah, you know, they probably have a big city generator and there's running electricity all the time.
Or even, like, basic things. Like, if you are a lone wolf type person and you want to do all this stuff by yourself, that's great. But if you're used to having people around you, are you going to cook a meal just for yourself? Like, it's better to have a friend or a couple of friends, because you pour out a can of soup and some rice or something, and that's more than you're going to be able to eat. So you'll probably end up sharing. So
yeah, that should be fun. Okay. All right. So I like that. I like that there's different takes on it, like on how much they should be babysat, for lack of a better description. Okay, so do you have a cutoff point where, like, let's say you have not helped your friend, your virgin, get a ticket, and you've been in contact with them for the past few months, and they're, like, not, like, you're like, this person is not ready. Like, is that a judgment call that you can make, or do you still help get the ticket?
I don't know if I would necessarily go out of my way to get them a ticket if I felt like they couldn't hack it that year. But if they came up with one, I would still be happy for them and wish them the best.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's might be the thing about Burning Man. It's like, one reason why burners are so awesome is because there's a pretty high bar to get there. And so we weed out a good many of the absolute flakes, because they can't manage to come out to the burn. And so I feel like if you're dragging somebody to the burn, well, maybe they don't want to as much as they need to.
Yeah. That's that's the part that I guess I'm, like, trying to figure out too, and I've had conversations with other people that they're trying to figure out, is like, yeah, we get people, you know, like every other week that bring up the idea of, like, I really want to go, but how do you figure out who is legit and serious and who is like just doing talk?
If you are listening right now, at this point in February, starting to plan and figure your stuff out, then you probably have pretty good chances of actually being prepared by the time August rolls around.
Yeah. I'm not anywhere near fucking prepared.
How many days is it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's 250 days till the man burns as of...
It's under 15, isn't it? The last time I looked, it was under 215. No,
you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
It'd be like just over 200 at this point.
Yeah. By the way, that's Peter pissing in the background. You can hear it in the recording.
I was so good. I don't know if you could hear it.
You aimed for the porcelain. That was really good. But that's okay. Now his piss is being broadcast to the entire world.
It's a perfect bullseye.
We can fix it in post.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that in there.
So, are the people that you encounter, the virgins, are they proactive about planning, or are they just sort of interested? Because most of the virgins I've dealt with are like, I really want to go, and they're more prepared than I am by the time I get there.
I have not had that experience yet.
Okay.
3 years in a row, I've had multiple people asking me, like, I want to go. I'm like, okay, here's a bunch of information.
For sure.
Start doing something about it. And then no follow-up.
Yeah, and I talked to so many people who have Burning Man on their bucket list. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? If it's on your bucket list, fine. Maybe that makes you feel better. You're not going to go to Burning Man. I'm sorry.
Right.
You go to Burning Man when you decide to go to Burning Man. And you go to Burning Man despite all the very good reasons that you can't go to Burning Man. Mm-hmm. And like it's never going to be, oh, this year's perfect. It's going to be, oh well, this year I'll make it. It's going to be this year I make it work.
Yeah,
that's the only way that you get to the playa.
It'd be really funny if you were on like parole or probation or something, and you tried to ask your PO for time off to go to the
Depends on if your ankle bracelet can go that far. So that's the question. So okay, so when you were stepped out for a second, Peter, I was the same question.
Okay,
is there a cutoff point? Is there a point at no as it's getting closer to the burn that you're like, this person is not fucking prepared?
Yeah, totally. And you can tell just by like how emotionally and mentally drained they are by the whole process of it all. And you're like, dude, you're just gonna like ruin my burn if I bring you at this point.
So Should they be or not be drained?
Yeah, well, put silver around their neck to find out if they're a vampire or not. And, if they are, then the silver will burn them and they won't go.
I'm just going to not invite them into my fucking apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Right? See, I got the jade around my neck. So I'm like, whatever.
So, what is something that that has not been on any packing lists that you discovered on your own that you share with virgins? Because
walkie-talkies.
Nobody told you about that one. Walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies, yeah. They are so key and clutch, especially if you like can get like the Chinese hack like Baofeng ones and like figure out how to actually like use the scanner properly. You pick up police signals, but you're not supposed to.
So you get a walkie-talkie for what reason?
To communicate with your friends
while
you're out there, and say, hey, I'm like 3 clicks that way, or I'm at 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, or whatever.
How far do walkie-talkies go?
So far.
I don't know anything about walkie-talkies.
The high quality ones,
Yeah,
though,
the
not
high
just
quality
the little
ones.
cheapo ones.
Right, yeah. But I've got a cheap little Ranger one in my car right now, but nobody knows what the electronics are like on it. And now do they?
How's the walkie-talkie? There's enough walkie-talkies out there.
But you can also do it with your phone, like the same thing with the Bluetooth mesh network. So if you want to stay in contact with your friends, as long as you have enough of them on the same network, you can still ping each other while you're out there without any other thing.
So that's a fucking awesome luxury. I want to know, do you guys have anything that
sucks?
Hold on, I'm going to get back to that in just a second.
I've been thinking this whole time and I'm not ready yet. So.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that the lists that are out on the internet, there's nothing that I can think of that isn't on there.
Right. Because I think walkie-talkie is an awesome luxury, but I'm wondering, like, necessity-wise. Like, headlamp is on the lists.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, some of these lists are not all-inclusive. It's just, like, other things. Have you ever used Asana? Because that is an amazing, like, application that you can just use for free on the internet. And
Asana?
Asana, yeah.
What is it? How do you spell that?
Asana.
Okay.
It's like a Tibetan word, I believe.
What does it do?
It helps organize people. So you can set up tasks for different projects and stuff. You can assign people things. So if you're going with, like, a group of people, you can say, okay, you do meals this day, you're in charge of trash this day.
Oh, nice.
You can do all the planning, and then assign people tasks, and they have to check them off as they do them or don't do them. That's a really good way to vet people as well. If they're not taking care of their business beforehand, and they're not checking off the things that they need to be part of the community that you're bringing them into, then you go, all right, well, you don't get to go.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Sorry, it's two resources that I think that thought of, like we mentioned the time to burn earlier, and there's a couple of apps that are the schedule of events that you can have on your phone, and a live proof case is pretty nice. That way you can have your phone and you won't have to worry about dust.
Or any of the Samsung ones or any of the phones that are like dust and waterproof, the ones that you can just drop in the pool, like that's what's up. Like currently I have like a S5, but I'm trying to upgrade. Like it keeps running out of memory. It's like delete this to install this, delete this to install this.
Yeah, there's definitely affordable ones for phones and stuff, but like, man, I tried looking at one for my camera, and those things are fucking expensive.
Oh yeah.
It was like buying a whole other camera. Like, might as well just use this camera and buy another one.
I really like those chips that they have, the memory chips that geotag in real time. So like they like upload to whatever Wi-Fi is available, and then like so you take the picture and it's like this was recorded at this place and time at this particular latitude and longitude. It's really cool stuff. Now sometimes you have to get rid of that information if you're going to sell a picture to somebody because you don't want them to know where you were at a certain place or time,
right?
Like the paparazzi do. But
and another thing
is... This photo, was this at Burning Man? No.
That was a private shoot in someone's backyard.
It's really dusty.
One thing, I don't think even... there's a lot of seasoned burners who don't know about Rockstar Librarian. And so that comes out a week before gates open, usually. And so it'll be a list of a lot of the artists who are playing. So then if you're the kind of person like me who came from the raver scene and wants to hear all the amazing performances, then grab that, print that out, and bring it with you.
Yeah.
So actually, to answer your question about things to bring, the best thing I ever brought was a wrist GPS, like a Garmin. I'm sure it's on some people's packing list, but it wasn't on mine. And my boyfriend thought I was such a nerd for bringing it, but it was brilliant for marking where camp was, or the bathrooms were, the closest bathroom to where we were, or where the man used to be, or the temple. So when that stuff burns down, you can still find your way home.
Right.
And it has been like my savior out there. So you don't have to bike around for 4 hours. You can set a beeline to your home.
How does so? I've never used the wrist GPS before. How does
It's
it work?
amazing. You just you like plug in a location and it just marks your spot on the map, and then wherever you go, you can kind of see the direction and the distance back to that location.
Oh, cool.
I'm sure there are more sophisticated ones where...
And that works out there regardless of the Wi-Fi and stuff.
Yeah, there's some that you can actually preload the landscape and everything. I didn't go that fancy because I didn't really know what I was doing, but you can just plug in a waypoint and like, here's the closest bathroom, so when we're out at the Man Burn tonight and I have to pee, it's right back here.
Yeah.
So,
that's fucking brilliant.
Definitely do that. That's
I like that
my
a lot.
best advice.
Okay. What was did you guys have any curveballs ever thrown at you with your virgins that you thought you prepared them for? Peter obviously has a story. Actually, everybody did an eye roll and give me a curveball story.
Planning your menses around burning.
Totally my problem. Totally exactly what I had.
As a female, be prepared for that. There are resources if you're gonna be experiencing that. Check it out, because you're not supposed to put any of that stuff in the porta potties. So
we made it in a porta potty once because if it comes from your body, it belongs in the potty. So we set up like a wire coat hanger, and we called it the porta potty because the only thing that belongs in the potty is stuff that comes from your body. And technically,
how dark is your burn?
Very different than
but my friends.
Very different than the Prince porta potty that I was using.
I love the Prince porta potty.
Yeah, that was great.
I really like the pooperazzi. Have you guys encountered these guys yet?
No.
Where they roll out the red carpet and stuff and stand around and clap when you make it out of the porta potty.
Oh, yeah.
Taking pictures like a speech.
That's so great. So curveballs though with your virgins. So we got that one. Anything else that you looked at and you're like, fuck, I really should have prepared my virgin for this and it didn't come up.
Well, I think...
or you couldn't even thought to have brought it up until you actually experienced taking a couple of virgins out there.
Like, going and realize that the desert is just a really, like, emotionally hard place. Emotionally difficult. And so, like, going out there and, if you want to have a fight with your significant other, you might consider just putting a pin in it and waiting until you get home and seeing if it still matters.
Drink water while you're having that fight.
Yeah. Take 5-HTP.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins.
Realize that you can normally be a very grounded individual, but you'll not really be in control of the way that you're feeling because it's such a harsh environment and you've been having such an amazing time and haven't been sleeping, haven't been drinking enough water, and have been eating a bunch of dust.
Yeah.
And so just consider that the way that you're feeling is valid, but understand that you're going to have conflicts with the people that you're with just because of the environment you're in.
Yeah. One of the best pieces of advice that really has stuck with me that I got from Jake Tyson of Pinkheart my first year. He said, don't make any big life decisions within 30 days after the burn.
Yes.
And I remember I got into an encounter with somebody at this most recent burn that was like a big, huge, massive thing that like really affected multiple relationships and all these kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to get into this subject. And like this person very much disagreed. Was like, no, it's ridiculous. And this person had been to the burn like 9 times. And I'm like, how are we not on the same page on this? Because I thought everybody agreed on this. But it just turns out that
Rule
was...
number 11.
Yeah. Don't make big decisions, right? But then a lot of people, go and then they quit their job.
Or they get fired.
Yeah.
Or they decide to go on a vacation without you.
Yeah. This is true. Peter's got that. That'll be a whole other story. On the show. Have you had any virgins come with you guys that afterwards were not like they're just not into it? They're like, yeah, I got that out of the way. I don't think I want to do it again.
Can we go back to the curveball thing for a
Please
second?
do. Yeah.
So this past year, Virgin Burner went and didn't take Tuesday morning off of work, and we got stuck in line Sunday night into Monday morning, and it was a brutal drive home Monday. So you definitely want to make sure to take enough time before and after in case anything happens. If there's weather while you're out there, you might get stuck, and they're not going to let you leave. So take the time off and don't stress about it after. It makes life a lot easier going home.
That's excellent advice. Yeah, I always, because I've even seen like veteran burners do that, like not take enough time off before and after. And I'm like, I would add an extra day before because there's going to be last minute packing. And I would add an extra day afterwards because you might come back and just be a fucking zombie.
And if you can stay in a hotel on the way home instead of marathoning the drive, it's so much nicer to sleep in a bed.
Mm-hmm. And there's some really amazing hotels on the way back down to Southern California, like in the wooded area up by Mammoth, and like it's just so beautiful. Don't think that Reno is like the first stop you need to
I was
get
about to make a snarky Reno joke.
Yeah, like the Grand
Fabulous offerings of Reno.
When
they have signs outside saying no like leather jackets with bicycle insignias, motorcycle insignias.
So Mark Kelly and I and Jeff all went to Reno afterwards, and like Jeff and I went and saw Primus at the Grand Sierra Lodge right afterwards, and they like told us that they went on at one time, and then like we show up and we paid like $40, and they played like, you know, I know I had a big brown beaver, and then like Jerry was a race car driver, and there was like one more track, and then all the lights went down, and I was like, oh my god, was that it? We paid $40 to see like 3 songs. And I see everybody start leaving, but I look over at the guys at the soundboard and the light board, and they're like frantically just doing stuff. And I'm like, oh, this show's just about to start. So like, they're like, yeah. I like walk over and I'm like, what's going on? They're like, 15-minute intermission, come back. And I was like, all right, cool.
Private sidebar.
Came back. It turns out it was Les Claypool's wife's birthday. And they did the whole Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory album with like huge stage props. It was beyond badass. I almost got
afterwards. I'm just trying to stay awake.
I almost got into a fight with this asshole that was in front of me with this like, you know, camera holding it up in front of me, and I had like some big ass like combat boots on. I had a big spiked mohawk, and I just kept like, I was like, put the fucking camera down. Put the camera down. And finally I snatched it out of his hand. I was like, what? Put your fucking camera down. And he was just like, okay.
Super on topic. Thanks, Peter.
Sorry.
What is
well, it's like these videos. It's like nobody's gonna watch them.
No, we had a very similar experience not this last year, but the year before. A man burn night. This guy like set up like a fucking tripod and a camera in front of us. Like, dude, sit the fuck down.
But the professionals do it. You know, they're here with badges on.
They've got drones. It's fine.
Yeah. You're not capturing something nobody else has got.
Right.
What would you guys say has been the most common characteristic that you've experienced out of all the virgins that you've taken?
Wonder. Like, the burner is another planet, and whatever you do to prepare, you're gonna get out there like, whoa, what in the fuck is? Oh my god, I love that. And
the sheer size of it.
Oh
right.
yeah.
And even if you've been to festivals, if you've been to regionals, okay, if you've been to a regional, then you kind of have an idea of what to expect, or like what you're going to see when you get there. There'll probably some people from your regional are also out at the burn, being awesome as well. But when you get out there, and it's 5 miles across.
I have no sense of measurement.
You know, how many kilometers is it? That's what I want. What's up with the metric system?
Come on, America.
and the realization that you can be up at 24 hours for the entire event and be amazed the entire time and still not see a small fraction of it.
Yeah.
But what's really great is being able to share like experiences that you go through with other people, and they're like, "Oh my god, I did that same camp earlier, like a year before, like Death End or Skinny Kitty or like one of those really far out camps." Like Skinny Kitty, they've got mummified cats everywhere. It's just like crazy.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, but when we had the inconvenience store, they put us next to Voodoo Soup, and they are like the OGs from Skinny Kitty that we're just like, okay, we're over Skinny Kitty. Now we just make soup for everyone. It's called Voodoo Soup. And like they were right next to us in our inconvenience store.
What is the thing that would terrify you the most that you discovered about your virgin?
That they were a vampire.
Of course. I mean, obviously.
That's why I drink silver bullets sometimes, just to weed out the werewolves and the vampires.
Yeah.
Not bringing enough water
Oh, yeah, it's a big
or
one.
any kind of light at all.
Yeah.
Glow is important, and I always fail at glow because it's expensive, those LED strips. And
What do you call them? Dark tards?
yeah,
Yeah.
the dark tides.
Yeah.
I'm often a dark tide except for my headlamp, and I should know better. But
You mean, what do they call me?
yeah.
They call me the Sofa King.
Yeah.
I'm Wee Todd did.
But so I was thinking, like I was saying, most of the virgins I've taken have been more prepared than I am, and yet there's always going to be something that you forgot or you didn't bring or you didn't think of. So just be prepared to not be prepared for everything because it's impossible.
Be prepared to not be prepared. That's good.
I would definitely recommend like Fisherman's Friends. It's a great lozenge that helps if you get like dry throat and you have like playa stuff. If you have like an allergy to silica or something, bring a big dust mask. Bring like a gas mask one that you use for like,
Allergy to
framing.
silica?
Yeah, silica is like basically what the playa is mostly made of, and like that's also what you get when you pulverize concrete or work with glass or anything like that.
Isn't silica those little packets that come in?
Yeah,
things?
that's also silica as well.
I thought those killed you.
They do.
Don't eat
Ah.
the
It's a desiccant, so
I
basically
eat
it
things
removes
off of
moisture.
playa dust all the time.
Well,
Should I not be doing that?
Well, it's a desiccant, so what it does is it removes moisture from the
Ah.
atmosphere around it. It's like reverse osmosis, kind of like it just sucks all the water out of something.
Yeah.
So
We're
that's
just
why they put it in
preparing
beef
for when
jerky
the
and
earth dries
things.
up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
And I remember there's always going to be something that you forget, but the people around you are more than willing to share. And I hesitate saying that because don't be that guy.
But the playa does provide.
Yeah, the playa provides.
Yeah.
And one fun way that I like to go, I like to introduce myself is being across playa and my water on my camelback when I run out. Like, okay, well, I'm not going to walk all the way back. I'm going to find the nearest group of people that are, if you're chilling at camp, and say like, hey, do you have water? And 100% of the time that I've asked that, they filled up my camelback for me. I sat and I chatted with them for a half hour and had a great time.
Yeah, it's not like the normal default world where you don't really ask your neighbor for a cup of sugar anymore. Like, you need a cup of sugar on playa, go ask around and you'll find someone with a cup of sugar.
So we were making, I think it was Thai curry or something, and we needed a ginger for it. So I start walking around with a megaphone and I'm like, we need ginger for this curry. And this guy goes, I've got Mary Ann. And I was like, I'll take her. so I was like, no, seriously, you need some ginger then? I was like, yeah. And you just like, I go over and he just busts off this like huge root of ginger. And he's like, all right, thanks, man. And we go back and like make some bomb curry for camp, And like, that's how it works, Do
you guys, I mean, this kind of goes back to something we were talking about earlier. Like, do you guys feel comfortable and confident communicating to a virgin then that, like, hey, we don't know if we can get you a ticket, but start packing, start getting ready?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Because if a ticket comes up and you haven't been preparing, then you definitely can't go. But if you have been preparing, the chances are pretty good.
And here's the thing, if you're in Southern California and you get all prepared for it and you don't get the ticket, well, Utopia is a month later. So, save all that packed stuff up and take it to the regional
I
and
honestly
show off.
don't know if I know anyone who is prepared to go and hasn't gotten to go.
Right.
Yeah. Personally do.
What percentage of people would you say?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it depends on how cool you are and how much people actually like you. Because if you're a fucking asshole and people are, like, always trying to, like, teach you stuff and you're just like, whatever, I already know everything. Like, fuck you, Like, they'll just give up.
What if you're not an asshole, but you're just really thick?
Well, I'm a knucklehead, so...
It's just not settling in.
Yeah.
We'll still get you a ticket.
If you're willing to put the work in, like if you're willing to join a camp that has extra tickets in exchange for volunteering at the kitchen or such and such, there's opportunities available. You just have to be open to what comes to you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I think, like, right now, the ability to get a ticket in 2017 is probably, like, the biggest challenge that virgins chase. I feel like in comparison to a few years ago.
Tickets are not sale yet, right?
No,
I haven't missed that deadline.
No.
But I think another thing that was there were so many low-income tickets last year that went unused.
Yeah,
because
they reopened them.
Like, the
or
Black
kept it
Rock City
expensive.
Art Foundation, like, they throw a lot of money at, like, helping people that don't have the financial means to get there. But you have to jump through a couple more hoops than somebody that has a bunch of money that just wants to go.
Barely that many hoops. You have
Yeah,
to
it's
provide
barely.
3 pieces of documentation.
Well,
so
and
if
you
you don't
also
have the money...
right, but you also have to like fill out a questionnaire on like why you deserve to go, post to other people what you've done for the community in the past, like all these other things, and then they judge you on it, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, cool.
Judge you right down their fucking noses.
Full disclosure, I've gotten in on low-income tickets twice now, so it's not extremely difficult or taxing, and they don't ask you anything like rudely personal.
No,
so.
not at all.
What's considered low income?
It's a half-price ticket. They don't really have a set for like what you make.
Yeah,
But
that's
I've
it.
had a job, and I have student loans, and I have credit card debt, and I was able to put that all on there and be like, look, I can't afford a full price. And I
Yeah,
got
and
it,
they
so-
ask for a breakdown of all of your expenses and how much you make and everything.
Yeah, there's not a line that says, okay, well, if you make less than a certain amount, you can get the low income ticket. It's more of like, okay, tell them your situation.
Right.
And provide details. If you want to go and you can't afford it, like, be honest with them and tell them why and what you plan to contribute to the community, and you have really good chances.
Now, on the other one, if you are stupid rich and you just want to throw money at the situation, you can make a $1,000 donation to the Black Rock City Arts Foundation and get yourself a guaranteed ticket. And I highly encourage anybody that has the means to do that and spend more just so you can see some awesome art there, because the BMORG knows what they're doing, and they give really awesome artists fat grants to show off their work.
Yeah. I didn't know that you could do that.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, that's what I'll tell my virgin. Hey, go make a bunch more money now. Excuse me. So you're on playa with your virgin. What do? You just cut them loose? Be like, peace out? Do you want to go show them things?
Ask them what they want to do. I think
Depends on the virgin.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I want everybody's input on this.
Well, yeah.
There's no wrong answer.
Like I think we were saying before, it's like, okay, so I'm somebody who will sit down with the guide and say like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Sit down with Rockstar Librarian, like, okay, I'm going to go see this camp at this certain time of night. But that's the plan. Yeah. And wander towards that. If we get there, we get there. Great. If we don't, we don't. If there's some grilled cheese, if we really need some grilled cheese or midnight poutine, then have fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like some virgins want specifically to have their own experience, and they want to go out and have their own adventures and stuff, and others definitely need more hand-holding. And to the ones who want to have, like, actually to both, make it known what you plan to do and when, as, like, a general estimate, and if they want to come along, they can, and if they don't want to, they don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely encourage everyone to go on at least one adventure with your friends, and at least one adventure solo.
Yeah.
That's definitely great, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple of virgins to Utopia. That's been like the way that I've always pushed them. Is like, listen, don't worry about hanging out with us. Just go find shit. I promise you, it'll be fun.
There's plenty of cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Do you guys have a favorite
Or to
virgin
find
story?
you. Yeah, so my first year ever, I went out there on Monday. It just rained.
Is this your own virgin story?
This is my virgin story. It rained down, holy hell. Like, it was just bad. And that's when we found Lost Abbey. But right after the rain stopped, there was a double rainbow that appeared in the sky. And it was during that time when the Yosemite Bears song, Double Rainbow All the Way Across the Sky, was, like, really popular. And I shit you not, like, every single DJ on every corner started playing. I was just like, no fucking way, this is so surreal. It was awesome. That's my own personal virgin story.
Do you have one of the virgins that you've taken?
You know, that's their story to tell, not mine. You know, like, that's their experience. And I'd rather, like, have them see it through their eyes and what they experienced than me saying, I saw them do this. I'd rather hear what they had to say about it.
Well, we don't have them here right now.
Well, we can contact them.
Yeah, we'll call them right now.
Yeah, we can totally do it.
I know the one of the virgins I took, and yeah, like went out and we were out all night Wednesday night and just like partying until the sun came up, and then kind of turned over to her and told her like, hey, so this is only Wednesday. Like, we still have 3 more days to go. And just saw the look on her face like, oh my God, this is amazing.
No, that's definitely a good one. I think that's like that. Well, you were actually describing that story. It made me think. Like, I wonder if there is a certain type of burner who is more cut out to bring virgins versus types who haven't.
Yeah.
Probably.
Obviously, the people that are the subjects of this interview have had multiple experiences.
I don't know though. I'll say like the burner community though is so full of people who are kind of that open and guiding and kind of interesting sort of people, and so I'd say there's definitely some more than others. But if you're a burner, you're probably more likely to be the kind of person to bring somebody into the fold than your average person on the street.
Yeah.
I think there's two sides to the coin. You know, there's definitely a dark side and a light side, and you definitely see it at Burning Man. Like last year that I went, there was this group next to us, all dressed in black, listening to punk rock. You know, just
Not miscreants.
Not miscreants. I was actually with Glitter Apocalypse the last time I went,
Nice.
and it was amazing. I've got some great stories about that, but that's neither here nor there right now. But yeah, there was just this really focused negative energy right to the right of our camp, and like we saw him get into a fight with his girlfriend, and he almost got into a fight with me, and he was just like, and then finally, dude, I busted out the stencil station. I was like, homie, make some fucking art and lay it to bed.
Yeah.
And like he busted out this sick, like, you know, like Biohazard with Darth Vader and like all this shit, and I was like, cool, man, if you're on that side of the Federation, that's all you, but it's all the Jedi's over here, homie.
So that's the way we figure out who they are.
Exactly.
Bring out the stencils. I can dig
it. Paint it. What you got?
Is there anything that you would go back and tell the virgin you,
Oh man,
knowing what you know now?
bring coconut water. Fuck bullshit regular water. I was watching this ad for this Jean-Claude Van Damme Johnson. JVCD Johnson is on. It's coming out on Amazon soon.
Johnson,
yeah.
it's the name of the movie.
No, it's a show. It's a series that they're trying
Starring
to
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
There's a Jean-Claude Van Damme show, and I didn't know till now. Okay.
Amazon. Yeah, it's
All
gonna be
right.
great. So like
Awesome.
the opening scene is this like drop dead gorgeous blonde, and she's like walking into the room like ass open, and like he's like, I just took a shower, but I'm still sticky, and he's like, it's because all of the water is coconut water. The whole house is pumped with coconut water. She's like, I don't get it. I've never been here before. He's like, they never do.
Have you seen JCV? That's a complete sidebar.
I have seen JCVD.
I still need to see that fucking movie.
It's amazing.
Okay. All right. Something you could tell virgin you if you could go back in time.
We already mentioned, but I did not take enough time off of work. And I actually ended up driving with somebody I met as a rideshare. And so we drove back to Maryland, 2,500 miles.
Whoa.
I took a shower and went to work.
Yeah.
And that was not the best way to do that.
We're almost done.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was still kind of thinking about
I just snapped at Peter. Sorry.
your
Nice
favorite.
hat.
Use a light.
Yeah. I almost threw a beer can at you. Sorry, go ahead. Ellie.
I've seen that happen.
I don't
too.
know. I mean, it's probably something I would tell Virgin me, but it was something I told one of my virgins when we brought her. You know how you kind of stress out and you kind of fight with the people you're traveling with on the way because you just have to stop at Walmart for the 15th time, and you've all been driving for 17 hours, and we were there, and I kept telling her, like, it gets better, I promise. Like, hang in there. It's worth it. So, probably would tell Virgin me that, too.
What's
It
that
gets better.
It's worth
motivational
going.
poster with the
Hang in
kitten on
there.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang in there, kitty. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's worth all the money that you've spent already, and all the stress that you've gone through, and all the worry you have behind your head.
Right.
Like, yeah.
So, who's going this year? You guys are going?
Yes.
Everybody? Not Keinen?
The Royal We is going, me, myself, and I.
Royal We! Are you guys taking virgins this year?
I don't know yet. I'm taking applications for virgins. You want to go?
Me too.
What are the specifications?
You gotta send me a letter to my home address, 3345 Marlboro Avenue, San Diego, California, 92105.
All right.
That's the first time somebody's announced their personal address.
I'm secure.
6 years of podcasting. All right, I can dig it.
I think you just doxed yourself.
I don't give a fuck. I got nothing to hide.
Sending you nothing but bags of like poop.
Dude, so I know a British company that'll send people glitter bombs.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
Evil, the worst company in the world.
Yeah, we talked about. No, what is it? If you can get bags of poop, you connect that with bags of glitter bombs. Sad. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It's been a ton of useful information. I will be utilizing all of it with the virgins that I'll be taking this year.
Wonderful.
If they go.
Yeah, we'll see. Knock on wood.
We call them virgins, not virgins.
Yes.
Oh God, I hate that. I don't know. I can't deal with it.
It was sparkle funny. It's my ultimate dream, and this is actually like something I think like Bob brought up this idea. Who's been guest on the show a couple of times in the past. I'd love to like bring out a hip hop contingent, like because I'm connected in the hip hop scene, like lots of artists. Like I'd love to bring a bunch of hip hop artists out there.
Totally make that.
Set up a whole fucking hip hop camp.
There's
we
too
could
much
totally
electronic
do that.
music
Like, straight
at
up,
the Burn,
like-
so.
That would be amazing.
For real. Not even joking. And we got the sound system. We got the record label. Like we could make this happen.
Yeah, but we got to get these fuckers to like actually like commit to going and
That's fine.
start packing
Let's
their
get
shit.
Apollo 8 out there first, because like
Has he not been out there?
I know he's been in the Burn, but I don't know if he wants to be part of a hip hop camp or not. We got Ethics this here in SD. Fucking Cypher. Who else, man? There's so many people.
Right.
Like, dude,
That'll be our future plan. Let's get a hip
do
hop
that.
camp going.
Okay. Oh, the Brothers Burns.
Yeah,
And I don't know if they've actually been, and they are amazing.
I don't think they have because I spoke to them this past year.
Yeah, dude, we should bring the Brothers Burns out there. I think that would be just a full circle. There you guys go.
You dig it. Cool. Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers.
All right.
Kampai.
Thank you so much for coming through. Let's do some final cheers with our Rolling Rock.
So you guys got 3 greens, and I got red, white, and blue.
Hey, we didn't have a center mid-show break today. Did you notice that? There's conspiracy-ish reasons about it. Who cares? Whatever. New episodes are up on the first and third Wednesdays of the month. We are on multiple podcasting platforms such as Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spreaker, among many others. We're also on iHeart Radio, of course. If you want to listen to the show, we are not hard to find. The Burner Podcast movement is made possible due to the efforts of various contributing producers, as well as our regular staff, which includes our network music editor, Navjit Sarna, who is also the producer of Burner Podcast Presents Alkaline. It's pretty cool, by the way. Last week was my birthday, and we went to this amazing event that was co-produced by Bass Exotic, who was either the most recent or the second most recent release on Alkaline. And then also the second or most recent release was Emanate. So the headliners of this event were both recent releases of Alkaline. It was a lot of fun. All my friends were there. It was a really, really beautiful night. Tori Massey used to be our online editor. Now her new title is associate producer. Of course, there's contributing producer Super Suze out of the Bay Area, recording engineer Freckle, chief playa scientist Ramiro Martinez, special projects manager Paul McCarthy, executive producer Meg King, and you, dear listener, amongst many, many other people that help make this show possible. Our intermission music is by Duckman. Check out his music at duckmansd.bandcamp.com. The Burner Podcast theme song is America's Horse with No Name remix, produced by Joman. Check out his stuff over at soundcloud.com/DJ Joman. So until next time, love and light and all that other crap. Good night.